protect the baby, she had to put him into a small boat without anyone else, and then hurriedly left after giving the baby a kiss, in order to lure away the fisherman. The mermaid mother immediately swam towards the deep sea, and then suddenly exposed her body to the surface after swimming halfway. Mermaid mother's beautiful face instantly fascinated the fisherman, forgot to reduce the speed of the boat and crashed directly into a lighthouse. When the mermaid mother turned back to retrieve her child, she found that the boat had already been driven away by a couple. At the same time, they suddenly heard a baby crying on the boat, and they looked around and found the baby mermaid. This was a gift to the two who could not have children, and they decided to keep the baby and named him Cody. The mermaid mother wept tears of sadness as she watched them take her baby away, secretly vowing that one day she would get her baby back. Soon, 13 years later, Cody had become a handsome boy, but his body seemed to be different from normal, and he would drink water for an hour before stopping. Much to the amazement of his friends in the water line, he always had an inexplicable craving for water, and every time he jumped into the water, he felt free and swam incredibly fast. Not only that, but his fingers would always emit electricity without him realizing it. But Cody thought it was just an illusion and didn't care. But on his 13th birthday, his best friend Jesse found scales growing on his hands. Cody noticed that as soon as his body touched water, scales would grow and disappear as soon as the water dried on his hands. Jesse thought that it might be a rejuvenation of the human race and invited Cody to his home to study it with him. Jesse's house was filled with statues of mermaids. Cody didn't know that Jesse's father was the fisherman who had hunted the mermaid mother. As soon as the man saw Cody, he felt a sense of déjà vu. When Cody asked about the mermaid legend, the man replied categorically that he had seen the mermaid with his own eyes and had been searching for her for 13 years. On his 18th birthday, a strange thing happened to a boy. When he touched water, his hands grew fish scales. When his hand touched the person he liked, a strong electric current would be generated inside her body and the girl's hair would float due to the static electricity without her realizing it. His hands would somehow develop a grip on the girl's body, and the feeling grew stronger every day. And the boy thought he'd watched too much Spider-Man. Downstairs, his parents suddenly heard Cody's cry for help, and when they entered the room, they saw their son hanging upside down from the roof with no anchor. The mother took Cody to the clinic for a checkup, and the doctor concluded that this was a normal part of puberty. But as his scales grew, his friend Jesse didn't believe it was puberty. He compared Cody's scales to pictures in books and realized that his scales resembled those of a fish. He asked Cody to try to talk to the fish, but the fish jumped out of the tank with a simple command. When he put a light bulb in Cody's hand, it glowed brightly. But Jesse couldn't believe that Cody was a mermaid. And when he went home to check his father's files, his father found out. When he asked his father for information about mermaids, he claimed to have seen one years ago, but people didn't believe him and thought he was crazy. That's why his father vowed to catch the mermaid for the rest of his life. The next day, Jesse rushed to find Cody, and after looking at his scales under a microscope, he was certain that Cody was a mermaid, and that his scales resembled those of a fish. Unable to accept the truth, Cody went to his parents and kept asking about his origins. Fear of losing Cody's parents can only choose to hide. Cody had to go to the faucet to wet his arm with water. Fish scales instantly climbed all over his arm. Seeing the scales on Cody's arm, his parents could only tell the truth, saying that Cody had suddenly appeared on the boat when they were sailing. Cody went to the sea where he was found. The boy's arms suddenly sprouted fins and his feet turned into flippers as fast as the eye could see. The boy did not understand what was going on. The next moment was arrested. When he woke up, has been arrested on the boat. To see the boy's painful expression, the man rushed to get water to help him ease the pain. The fisherman turned around and saw that the mermaid mother had followed him, so he took Cody in order to catch the mermaid mother. At this time, Cody's best friend Jesse also followed him. He pulled the canvas off Cody's body and found that all his feet have become fish flippers. If he does not get into the water, he will die of dehydration. But the fisherman started the side of the big net ready to catch the mermaid mother, even though she knew it was a trap. The mermaid mother swam desperately for Cody's safety, and just as she poked her head out of the water, she was caught under the fisherman's net. The mother mermaid struggled desperately inside the net, but to no avail. Jesse jumped into the sea. With a knife he defied his father and cut through the net with the knife, and the mother mermaid escaped. When the fisherman pulled up the net, it was empty. But then the net fell into the water and got tangled up in Jesse, who was about to swim to shore. Jesse struggled a few times and was dragged into the water by the fishing net and soon lost consciousness. Seeing his son in trouble, the fisherman immediately jumped into the sea but could not find Jesse. Luckily, Cody appeared in time and grabbed Jesse, and together they brought Jesse up, but Jesse had already lost his breathing, although Jesse still had no pulse despite all the efforts of the people to save him. When the crowd was at their wits' end, Cody suddenly had an idea. He told the others to stand back and used his hands as a defibrillator, and Cody finally regained his breathing. The fisherman then realized that Jesse was the most important person to him, and he finally let go of his obsession with catching mermaids for so many years. At this time, the mermaid mother is in the water looking at the shore of the crowd, and Cody also finally realized that he does not belong here. So in the eyes of his foster mother, Cody said goodbye to them. Into the sea belongs to him, and Cody has become a real little beautiful fish.